We are here to bring a new type of news show.
New insights, new styles, and new topics every day.
We are News Generation.
Bring news just for you. It's Tuesday, January 14th here in Seoul. I'm Song Yujin, and you're watching News Generation. Joining us today is Kwon Ji-yeon.
Good morning, Eugene.
Good morning, Ji-yeon. And Im Sang-yeon.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. Now, both are here to speak on behalf of those in their 20s and 30s. So we're going to start off this Tuesday with our keyword news. Today's keyword is quademic. South Korea is experiencing a significant rise in flu cases, with the number of suspected cases in the first week of January surging nearly 14 times compared to 4 weeks ago, reaching 99.8 cases per 1,000 outpatients. The Korea Disease Control and Prevention Agency attributes this flu wave to two influenza viruses circulating simultaneously, the H1N1 and H3N2 strains. However, the flu isn't the only respiratory illnesses on the rise. Experts warn that Korea is currently facing what they call a quademic. So, Sang-yeon, could you tell us more about this concerning situation?
First of all, it feels like it was only yesterday when we were suffering from COVID-19.
Right.
And I can't believe that we are witnessing another virus going widespread in Korea. So like you mentioned, we are witnessing other diseases other than influenza virus. So we have other respiratory diseases that we need to watch out for. The number of COVID-19 patients is rising again. And after the disease peak last August, we are also seeing a rise in RSV, which triggers pneumonia among infants. And there's also HMPV, which stands for human metapneumovirus, getting widespread in China. The number of infections for HMPV in South Korea has increased by 2.2 times within 2 weeks, alarming the health authorities across this country.
It is definitely an alarming situation on the public health front. Then, Ji-yeon, I want to ask you, what are some effective ways people can protect themselves or prevent themselves from catching these viruses?
Very good question. Well, many experts are urging everybody to take proactive measures, steps in order to protect themselves and others. Well, first of all, vaccination remains the most effective method to, if you have not gotten it yet, get your flu and COVID-19 shots right now to lower the risk of severe illness. And second of all, practice good hygiene. You've got to wash your hands regularly, often, avoid touching your face and use hand sanitizer if possible. And third, wear a mask in crowded spaces, especially in the public places, especially during the upcoming holiday season when gatherings are frequent in buses, tubes, subways. And fourth, maintain physical distance, like the social distance that we took many years ago, should I say, and avoid close contact with anyone showing symptoms of illness. And lastly, this is the most important point. If you are feeling unwell, if you're coughing, stay home, don't go anywhere in order to recover and prevent spreading the virus to others. So small actions like these can make a big difference for all of us.
Right, especially because they are infectious diseases. Indeed. All right, hope everyone stays warm and healthy this winter. And that was our keyword news for this Tuesday. So we're now going to move on to our main discussion of the day. It's Tuesday, which means it's time to talk about the latest trends on Korea's cultural front. Take a look at the screen to find out more.
Recently, a unique way of making friends has been trending among young people here in Korea. That is connecting with others through second-hand shopping platforms. Today on News Gen, we'll look into how this works and why it has become popular.
Right, so what we're going to talk about today is really interesting because finding friends on a second-hand shopping app does seem quite a bit unexpected. So, Sang-yeon, for our viewers who might be curious, could you tell us more about the app, this friend searching feature, and how much it's being used?
Yeah, I think we all use this app. It's called 당근 Market or Carrot Market. It was originally built for people to buy and sell secondhand products, but nowadays it has gone even far to find friends in your local community, and sometimes the foreigners who live in Korea use this app to search for Korean friends, and also the Koreans are also using Carrot Market to find friends from other countries. So if you look at the search keywords looking for Korean friends within this Carrot app, it went up by 4 times over the year. In fact, if we look at the second half of 2024 only, the keyword searching for friends soared by 4.3 times, and posts about looking for friends or language tutor also increased by 30% compared to the year before.
I see. So as Hangyuk just explained, it seems like many international residents in Korea are using the service to make Korean friends, and Korean users are using the service to make international friends. So I want to ask you, Jian, what do you think is driving this growing interest in this friend searching feature on this specific secondhand shopping platform?
I do think that lots of factors has contributed to that phenomenon. Well, over 200,000 expats, foreigners, came to South Korea for study and training in the first half of last year. This marks a 50% increase compared to the previous year. With more foreigners living in Korea, the demand to make Korean friends has also grown. And according to the Ministry of Education, 4 in 10 foreign students residing here in Korea aim to secure jobs here rather than returning to their home countries or moving elsewhere. For those seeking employment in Korea, having good Korean skills in Korean is quite important, is essential, which likely motivates them to connect with Korean friends to improve their language skills. So nothing beats making friends for learning a language,
Right.
isn't it?
Right. So finding friends through this friend searching app helps you not only improve your Korean skills, but also widen your social network here in Korea. Do you also agree, Sang-hyuk? What do you think?
Well, I definitely agree. And you know what they say? The best way to actually learn a foreign language is to make a friend from another country. Or if you really want to master the language, the best way is to marry someone from overseas. I'm not sure if that really works, but I guess many people actually learn foreign language in that way. So that's why international residents in South Korea are trying to look for friends and learn Korean at the same time using this app. Also, living far away from your home country can often be lonely. So the app itself is convenient to use even for foreigners. And if you have Korean friends, they can actually teach you about Korean culture and food.
Right, so you can do both language and cultural exchange if you use these services where Korean users find international friends and international users find Korean friends. So to better understand this trend now, we'll soon be joined by a young person from Brunei living in Korea. That's right after a short break.
NewsGen wants to hear from you. Go to YouTube and search our channel Arirang News. Click Community and leave a comment down below. Make a new type of news with us.
So today we're joined by Rasida Idris, a millennial from Brunei who has been living in Korea for almost 6 years now. Welcome back to the show, Rasida.
Okay, hi.
Hi,
Good morning.
Good morning.
And
Great to
thank
have
you.
you back.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Yeah.
joining us today.
I'm happy to be here.
Great. So Rasida, we first want to ask you, have you made many Korean friends during your time here in Korea? I'm sure you have made many Korean friends, but could you tell us more?
Well, I would say not that many, but I'm happy to say that yes, I made like some quality Korean friends here. Yeah.
Lovely, lovely. So,
Yeah.
Rosita, from your perspective, what stands out about Koreans as friends? And are there any unique traits or cultural differences you have noticed compared to your friends back home?
Well, I would say that it's easier to make friends back home than here. I feel like I could just make friends with everyone back home. Everyone is kind of open, like back home, but here I feel like people are kind of, how do I say this? Like shy and careful. Like they're scared to talk to me first. But for example, like I noticed like most of my Korean friends, like since they already have their close friends, it's kind of difficult to get to that level of closeness because they already have that shared, they already shared the same background, which I don't have. But once you become comfortable with Koreans, they are so expressive. And I feel like with my Korean friends, I can always count on them whenever I need some honest advice that doesn't really need a lot of sugarcoating. And you know how sometimes even like within friends, like you have some kind of wall between you. But with Koreans, if they think that you are their person, that wall is not even there, they would be willing to do things for you. So I like how Koreans would term their the people who are close to them as 내 사람들. And this is like my favorite term ever here. Yeah.
Okay, Rosita, then can you give any advice to foreigners living in Korea who want to make local Korean friends?
I would say, not saying this should apply to everyone, but I'm saying this based from my personal experience after living here. As a foreigner, I think language is a main thing. Yes, they do understand English, some roughly, but to understand another culture, I still think that speaking its language is essential. I noticed that I stopped trying to make friends once I reached certain level of Korean fluency, because after that, making friends somewhat came naturally to me. On top of this, you know how Korea is big on drinking, right? And drinking is one of the main ways to socialize, and I don't drink at all. So if you're like me, I would say one way to make friends here is through shared interests. So for example, like me, I hang out with people who create contents together. So, and also those who goes to the gym, those who exercise or running, and even those who love art galleries. So Korea, like you mentioned, you have Dangun, but I use another app. They have some kind of app that is not dating app, okay, for shared interests. For example, like an app called Munto. I don't know like if you actually heard about this before, but it's an app for shared interests. So you could meet like different kind of people according to your interests. So yeah, I suggest that people should check this out. And lastly, I'd say there are no right or wrong ways to get acquainted, but you'll find your people. Yeah, that's all.
Great, some very practical advice from Rosita. Thank you so much for joining us today, and it's always great to have you on our show.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, so we've heard from Rosita, and now I want to hear from you guys, our panelists, because both of you have lived abroad and are now living in Korea. So I think that you could give us the best comparison. So for our viewers who want to know more, what do you think is unique about having Korean friends? Do you think they have any special traits or distinctive cultural differences when compared to your friends from other countries?
Well, based on my experience, Korean friends often treat you like a family all together, showing care and attention, which can be both heartwarming and a bit overwhelming sometimes. And sharing food is sort of a big part of friendships here. I remember when I came back to Korea after living in the UK for a long period of time, I was shocked to see people eating from a single pot of soup with their own spoons dipping together.
That was really common in Korea.
It was before COVID-19, should I say.
Right.
So it must be because Koreans value the idea of sharing and eating together.
As a community.
Indeed, as a community. Bonding is quite important here. And meals are central to bonding. So we often ask this question a lot to our friends. Have you eaten? 밥 먹었니? In Korean, have you eaten? In English, it's sort of a common greeting, and buying or sharing meals is a way to show affection to each other. And in Korea, collective culture is reflected in traditions like group gatherings, group outings where co-workers or classmates regularly or often go for dinner or drinks together to strengthen their bonds. And there is another thing here, it's quite unique, matching outfits or accessories with friends known as couple items, couple looks or group looks is another fun way Koreans express their sense of unity. I wonder you have experienced this before.
Well, back when I was in school, I remember I always created this group t-shirt or
group rings.
Apparel together with my friends, especially when we had like physical education competitions or big events at school. So
that's sort of a thing in Korea. So eat together, match together, bond forever. That's sort of a thing. That's kind of sort of a culture in South Korea.
So what you found special or distinct about Korean friends is this heavy emphasis on community.
That's right.
What about you, Sang-yeop?
Well, Juyeon illustrated really well, so let me talk about some annoying stuff about Korean people. So like she mentioned, Koreans are considerate and caring for others. They can but sometimes be overly disturbing and infringe your private zone. Like Rashida mentioned, there's no clear wall between the friends, so sometimes you might feel a bit offended in case they like turn out to be rude. So when you meet a Korean after having not seen him for a while, then the first thing they say is either, oh, you have lost weight, or oh, you gained some weight. Okay, so for many foreigners, especially from those in the West, might feel this is quite rude, but I think this is also a way of showing affection to others. Also, Koreans are more collective than pursuing individual values. So when this characteristic is applied to fashion, we can find some interesting results. Many foreigners who came to Korea were surprised to see all Koreans wearing only black padded jackets
During the
and
winter.
coats on subway, and I was able to see that as I was coming to Arirang this morning. Also, one of the foreigners mentioned online that the fastest way to find a Korean woman in other countries is to see whether they have see-through bangs for their hairstyles. Many Korean girls have their hair rollers around their bangs, and I think this kind of fascinates people from other countries because that's not that common in other countries.
Right. So I think that our viewers are watching, I think after listening to what our panelists say, this is similar to our culture and this is different. So I think that this would be a good first step, an introduction, if you are planning to make Korean friends in the future. So expanding on our discussion, we also asked our viewers if they would like to make Korean friends and why, and here's what they said. Let's take a look at our comments for today. Our first comment is by Thomas DeRoy6216. I've been learning the Korean language and studying the historical culture, so making Korean friends is of great interest. It is nice to learn more about the people whose culture I respect so much and how modern-day Koreans respect the history of the country. eDorian27, K-pop made me interested in Korea, so I'd just like to sit down together in a cafe or restaurant and have a nice conversation, getting to know about their lives, hopes, and dreams. Roddy Russell Jr. 93 says, I've lived in Seoul for almost 6 years and made friends through playing jazz music, watching soccer matches, and attending language exchange centers. Even though I live here alone, I almost never feel lonely. Well, good for you, Roddy Russell Jr. 93. Now, ending off our discussion episode for today, let's share some practical advice for anyone hoping to make new friends in Korea, whether they're coming to Korea to study or work, or whether they just want to make like a virtual pen pal or etc. Where or how would you recommend they start?
Well, first of all, go outside. Don't stay home alone. So for a relaxed vibe, consider staying at guest houses in Jeju Island or Yangyang in Gangwon State. These places are quite popular among young travelers and offer great opportunities to meet new people, whether over a meal, group activities, or beachside chats. Many leave with lasting memories and new friendships. And there is another tip for you. University festivals here in Korea can also be a great chance for you to meet new friends. They're usually open to everyone, creating a welcoming atmosphere where you can experience Korean culture and make new friends. You will have those drinking times all together. And first of all, FYI, you've got to check the website in order to check who's coming, which K-pop star is coming. These events often include fun activities, culture exchanges, and plenty of chances to connect with people from all walks of life. So adventure and friendship just around the corner for you.
Right, and the spots that you mentioned and the university festivals, they're all where mostly people from our generation gather and participate.
Correct.
So I think that it will be a great opportunity for our viewers to meet new friends, whether they're from Korea or whether they're from other countries. Then what do you recommend, Sang-yeop?
Well, in Seoul, I think Itaewon is the best district to make Korean friends or to make friends from other countries. And another fastest way to make Korean friends is to register a language learning program in the language center of universities. So if you take the class there, the instructor sometimes matches you with a Korean student. And in that way, you can get close to Korean friends and also learn the Korean language at the same time. And also, other than the Carrot Market app, there are also many other apps out there that has the list of social gatherings and clubs. So if you join one of these clubs for your hobby, you can naturally make Korean friends as well.
All right. Hope our episode today helps you make friends, whether they're Korean friends or other, if you're interested. And that's all from us today, but NewsGen will be back tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Korea time. Special thanks today to Kwon-Ji-Yeon.
Have a lovely Tuesday.
You too. Thank you. And Im Sang-yeop.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. We are
News Generation.